What it do, people? Coming to you live, the Reclusive Artist. Football talk. Football talk. We're talking big in the Champions League after an impressive, entertaining round of 16. You know how it is. We're going to get right into it. Like I said before, the Reclusive Artist is always right in his predictions. I did say Arsenal was going to go through. Told y'all City was going to go through. I told you that Barcelona would go through also. And I did say that Tottenham might win at home. Let's just gonna say I was right about Arsenal, Madrid, and Barcelona. Yeah, let's just say it like that. Let's just put it like that, people. And I was right about Liverpool. So that's five. Arsenal, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and Barcelona, man. So I'm right, man. I'm right. I was right about the teams I was supposed to go through, and the teams that I was supposed to go through went through. We gonna first off go with City's downfall, losing 2-1. Vinicius Jr. scoring 2 goals. And I gotta say, man, them two celebrations with Vinicius Jr. I posted a video. It's too bad YouTube copyrighted my video, but it's part of the game. This guy was entertaining, man, dancing in the Etihad Stadium, making City fans cry, the girlfriends cry. Hey, he was making them cry, bro. Vinicius Jr., man, we need to see more goals like that, bro. We need to see more performances like that. I know he blew a lot of chances, could have scored more goals. So did Erling Haaland, but Erling Haaland is a fraud because the amount of chances this man had was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. The problem is he's not cynical and he doesn't know how to hit the ball. That's your problem, man. Your problem is that he doesn't know how to hit the ball, especially in the box. And he's got no technique when he hits the ball. That's my problem for Erling. Erling got no technique, so he's always wants to hit the ball with his laces, especially in the box. He's got no curve shots. He's got no placement. He's got no technique whatsoever. So I honestly believe that he's a limited striker. And City, need a striker that can create their own goals. And Sergio Aguero, I'll say it again on this channel. So is Sergio Aguero is a great comparison. If you're trying to compare Erling Haaland with any other main City striker. And Aguero is a bad boy. He's one of their successful strikers, won them in their first league in decades. So we're not going to disrespect bad boy Aguero. We're just not. We're just not, man. So overall, I believe City had 21 shots, 16, and even that was not enough because the system won't allow these guys to score more goals than one. And yeah, Haaland had a lot of chances to bury or at least make the game even. He still didn't take them. So they had a striker that was off in a night he wasn't supposed to be off, which was like a round of 16 second leg. And I'm convinced, people. I'm solely convinced that Pep Guardiola just got a problem with Reinders. I don't know what's the problem. What's his issue with Genji Reinders, man? Like substituting him off, big mistake. Putting on Nicola Gonzalez. I mean, you imbalance the team immediately, bro. If you're going for the win, keep your attacking midfielders. I get that Bernardo Silva got a red card, but man, oh man, Pep Guardiola is overreacting. I mean, maybe he's overreacting. I'm not too sure. Maybe in games like the first leg, he definitely underestimated Madrid's star power. And Madrid weren't even playing that well, man. They just took their chances. In a game like this, also Vinny didn't take a lot of his chances, but he took two of them. So, and football will always be based upon how many goals you score against your opposite team. You can have the most passes, most possession, all you want, man. Does this end City season? I don't think this ends City season. I think it's more or less of case that they're regressing. They're not getting better because they lost all their players that they won the treble with. They haven't rebuilt in the right profiles, and they haven't replaced players like Gundogan, Mares, you know, David Silva, maybe Bernardo Silva. But, excuse me, but you know what's crazy? Bernardo Silva, once he leaves Main City, he also won't be replaced because the level of technicality in today's game is non-existent. Today's game needs more athletes than anything. So City are lacking depth in terms of quality because Semenyo is not gonna cut it, and guys who are inexperienced in the big stages are not gonna cut it. That's the thing, man. The lack of experienced players in world football is dying out also. So I never expected City to win the second leg. If we were to move on to Arsenal, I kind of knew Arsenal were gonna win the second leg because Arsenal being Arsenal, but them two goals, especially Eze's, was a banger. I just gotta say, man, it's not every day we see bangers like how Eze took that shot, bro. It was like laces, laces half volley shots. That's just crazy. It's crazy. Top corner even, and then the celebration, bad boy celebration, bad boy celebration. We don't see goals like that in modern football. I'll tell you that we don't. It's a shame, man. It's definitely a shame. We used to see goals like that in the Barclays era on a regular basis. I'm gonna be real with you, but that goal was amazing, bro. Yo, that was one of the best goals I've seen this season. Yeah, Arsenal controlled the whole pace of the game. They really did, man. They had more shots for once. Leverkusen didn't want really in the game, especially in the beginning, first 45 minutes. So we knew Arsenal were gonna just dominate and having the home advantage. Drawing against Leverkusen is still shambolic, especially for them being sixth place. It is what it is, though. But yeah, I don't think Arsenal are gonna win, especially who they got drawn against. Well, they'll win against who they got drawn against. That's Sporting. Sporting won like 5-0 against Gamlet, Bordeaux Gamlet, 5-3 on aggregate. But yeah, I think they'll have troubles away from home. And whatever happens more or less against Leverkusen will happen the same against Sporting. Them having struggles that are away from home, and them winning the game at home. So nothing changes regarding Arsenal. If we move on to Barcelona and Newcastle, I expected Barcelona to win, and I expected them to score the way they were scoring. Rafinha with 2 goals, Lewandowski with 2 goals, Lopez and Yamin Lamal penalty, and Mark Barnell. I expected this, man, and then although Newcastle did put up a good fight, man, the home advantage and the experience, like Newcastle don't have enough Champions League proven experienced players, and that's and they don't have enough big game players, man. They just did, and I told you guys about last time the first leg. They don't have the attackers. I mean, he's starting with a winger and Gordon as a striker. Barnes and Ilanga. There's no striker. And although Anthony Langa scored 2 goals, you need a striker for big games like this, especially a potent striker. If they kept Alexander Isak, or at least someone of the verge of goal scoring. I know they signed Mateta, Newcastle, but it's a matter of you need to sign a bigger star, and Newcastle never attract a bigger star name, even though they qualify for Champions League, because no one wants to play for Newcastle. No one wants to stay in Newcastle, especially foreign players. Okay, a few foreign players, but your stars are not gonna really wanna stay in Newcastle, cold ass Geordie Town, and play at St. James's Park. Like it's not an attractive day. It's not an attractive. There's a reason why Benjamin Sesko chose us over these Geordies, bro. That's one thing you gotta understand, man. And Barca, the way they attack, especially at home, it's very aggressive, and they felt that aggression. That's why they got penetrated 7 times. Pause. You understand what I'm saying? These are the things, bro. Like playing that high line, counter-attacking press football at home with a defense that is mediocre with Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier, you're gonna get smoked. And it's like I'm not surprised about the high level goal scores against Newcastle. Newcastle were never the team to compete against these big teams, especially like a team like Barcelona. So, credit to Barcelona for whooping that Newcastle ass. Whooping that ass. For real. Another English team crashing out, Tottenham Hotspur. Although they won 3-2, they did lose the war, conceding 2 goals. And I did say that Arsenal are gonna score more goals, but we're gonna concede. They would have won today's game, or would have had a chance to win if they hadn't conceded. And you see, Atletico had less shots on target and still could score 2 goals. They had an off form in the attacking end against a relegation side, Tottenham Hotspur. See, Atletico not even that good, and yet Tottenham Hotspur won. You see, just couldn't win the first game because of a home advantage, in my opinion. But either way, Tottenham are trash. We always knew they were gonna lose. Do they think? Do I think they're gonna get relegated? I don't think so. I think they'll survive. But if they lose their next 2 games, it's wraps with them. That's if they lose. They need you to just draw all their games. If they can draw all their games and survive, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They have no choice but to be fine. Because if they get relegated, they lose 200 M's, bro. So it's not pretty to lose 200 M's, especially for an establishment like Tottenham, who's like the sixth most richest club in the world. Not at all. I kind of knew Liverpool were gonna win against Galatasaray. Um, like I said before, it was just a draw away from home. Liverpool having the home advantage, we're always gonna win against a team like Galatasaray. So yeah, I didn't really watch that game, but from what I saw, um, it was just a home advantage, nothing more, nothing less. Galatasaray, they tried their best, but overall just didn't get into the game, man. They had like 2 shots to 28, one on target to 16. They were never in the game, never really. Um, it's so sad, man. Leroy Sané coming off the bench, Mario Icardi coming off the bench. These are two elite players. Gundogan not even starting, not even playing the pitch. it's sad hours for these ex-ballers, man, who play for Galatasaray to having to be losing a game against these scrubs, Liverpool. Because we don't like these scrubs in Liverpool, man. We don't we ain't fucking with them, honestly. And what like we knew that they were gonna win that second leg. We just knew it. Home advantage. It is what it is, man. Bayern absolutely smoked Atalanta. Absolutely wasted Atalanta. Harry Kane coming back with 2 goals, man. That second goal was spooky. He dribbled like past 3 players, almost losing the ball, and then winning it back and then scoring a banger top corner. It's best to say Harry Kane and Michael Olise are in their prime. Michael Olise was absolutely dominating that first game, and they scored more goals because he was creating and scoring goals. Like if Harry Kane is not playing, Michael Olise can carry Bayern Munich. I swear to God, that left there's just something about left-footed players that is just that's just magical. The way they dribble, the way they operate with the ball, it's nothing compared to any other sort of football, any other right-footed football. I'm just being real with you. There's right-footed football. There's right-footed players and there's both feet players. Left-footers are usually the most dominant, even if you can shoot with both feet. If you're solely one-footed, left-footed, then you're a gifted player, you know. But anyway, how the next few games will be looking, I gotta say, the fixtures that I'm seeing in the next round of the UCL is not surprising, but it's also very competitive. We got Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. We got Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich, Liverpool versus PSG, and Arsenal versus Sporting. We're gonna start off with the Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. And it's a game that if you watch La Liga, you're used to the sort of pacing. We're gonna see two Spanish teams sort of go for the game, seeing that they have two of the best attackers in the Spanish La Liga. Um, I think the way Atletico attack is gonna be very, very, very challenging for Barcelona's defense because Barcelona's defense with that high line is looking spooky, and we already have seen Atletico Madrid beat Barcelona 4-0. So it's gonna be a very entertaining game of goals. Barca still have enough depth up front to score goals against Atletico Madrid, but it's a matter of who will control the pace of the game because these are two both chaotic teams who don't have possessional play. I think Barcelona will have more possessional football, seeing that they have more technical players in the midfield like Pedri. So I give Barcelona the first leg. I really do. I think the first leg they can edge past Madrid, Atletico Madrid 2-1 away from home. That's my predictions. So yeah, my predictions: Barca say 2-1 Atleti. Those are my predictions. Maybe I might bet on this. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I might bet on this. Who the fuck knows? And then my next game, Liverpool versus PSG. PSG are gonna smoke these guys, Liverpool. I don't care what you scouts are saying, man. Barca will lose as they won in Atletico. Will do the same tactics against them with both legs, like they did in Copa del Rey. Raj, like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe. It's true, bro. What you're saying is partially true, but I just feel like Barcelona's attack is more potent, more consistent, more dangerous. I think Rafinha and Lamine Yamal are absolutely cooking. Lewandowski is doing what he needs to do, gaining some confidence, especially after a game like this against Newcastle. So I'm still gonna stick with Barca, Raj. I'm still gonna stick with Barca. What 2-1? But yeah, no, PSG are gonna dominate Liverpool. Even if Liverpool play at home, Liverpool are susceptible to losing at home right now. They're not the same team. They clearly don't have the same defense. Liverpool are gonna lose. Or Rogers, the biggest clown. Yeah, yeah, he's trash, man. He's a trash defender. He came on the bench, caught a nutmeg, and then allowed Newcastle to score a goal. He's ass, bro. I don't know why he's I don't know why he's the captain. I still I'm shocked he's even in the team this long. I'm so shocked. But it's just Barcelona are too broke to sell him, bro, and buy another star class defender. My predictions for PSG is I'll say PSG 2, Liverpool nil. Because I think PSG have enough star players and experience to control the whole game. I believe Luis Enrique is gonna do a smash and grab away from home, 2-0, two away goals, and then bury Liverpool at home and at Paris, probably like 4 or 5 nil. The way Liverpool's defense is moving, guys, against an elite team, I'm sorry. Against any team that's got a decent amount of attack, the way Van Dijk is moving, the way this whole back line is operating in Liverpool is trash. It's trash. Come on, like and subscribe, Roger. Like and subscribe. Like the live, bro. Please, my brother. Like the chat. I don't have faith in this Liverpool defense. That's basically what I'm saying. Like it's overwhelming to say the least. And it's not gonna get better because it's an aging defense. PSG have are a very fresh athletic team. Appreciate it, Raj. Thanks for the like, bro. PSG are a very athletic team, very technical team. So they're going to be holding the ball, keeping possession, and breaking down Liverpool's defense. And that's what I predict. I predict PSG 2, Liverpool no. Now, the big game, Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. Who do you think is going to win, Raj, between Bayern and Real Madrid? In that game, I'm considering for Real Madrid to at least get a result away from home. But at I mean, I'm considering for them to win at their home ground, but they're not gonna win in Germany, if you understand what I'm saying. Because of how Bayern's re- form and record is in the first leg, especially at home. They've never lost a first leg at home in Champions League. At least that's what I think. The record is that, yeah. And this new Real Madrid squad is mid. It's not a world class squad. It's a mediocre squad. It's an inconsistent squad. We don't know if Vinny's gonna turn up against Bayern. You know, he didn't turn up necessarily in the first leg against City. Caught one assist, but he wasn't really controlling the entire game. If Mbappe comes back, maybe they'll have a chance away from home. Madrid for sure. Bayern's biggest game this season was against Arsenal and they lost it. Yeah, I get that. I don't think it was their biggest game of the season. The Madrid game will be the biggest game of the season. But Bayern are just on form right now. That's why I feel like they're gonna give Madrid problems. If Olize, Diaz, and Kane are all fit and ready to start, it's gonna be problems. As it is, Bayern Munich, they have a lot of confidence. But the thing is, if they don't score more than 2 goals at home, they're in trouble in that second leg because Madrid have some home ground judge that just sparkles the way they play. I mean, you saw that first leg against City. Everybody thought that City was gonna win that game, and then they end up losing because Madrid just carries a certain level of football heritage, especially in the Champions League, where if the football gods are on their sides, they are willing to score some goals. And they scored some goals with one player scoring their first hat trick. Valverde, imagine Valverde scoring their first hat trick. That's crazy. You can argue that they will win at Allianz Arena, but at Bernabeu, Madrid turns into a beast. Exactly, Raj. I don't know how to explain it, bro, but the way I'm explaining it, I hope you guys understand. Like this Madrid is a different team at home. I don't know. They can be off form the whole season, but in big games like the Champions League, it's just in their DNA to win. So Madrid and by at Germany. I have Bayern Munich 1, Madrid nil. It's gonna be a tight game. It's definitely gonna be a tight game because if let's just say let me just say 2 nil because I have the right to change my mind. I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna say Bayern 2, Madrid nil. Yeah, but that's not gonna be enough if you know what I mean. In fact I'll even change that again. I'll say Bayern 1, Madrid. I'll say Bayern 2, Madrid 1. Because I think if Kylian Mbappe comes back, he'll get a penalty. I'm just keeping it real. Mbappe gets penalties like no other player in world football right now, and I feel like a penalty is boring. So I'm gonna go Madrid losing that away game 2-1, but then coming back in the second leg because Madrid are gonna be Madrid and they win that second leg maybe like from a crazy goal stat like 3-0, if anything. That's just football. You know what I'm saying? What you think, Raj? Let me know, Raj. All right, Arsenal and Sporting. We're gonna keep this short, man. We're gonna keep this short. The first game is at the Emirates, so we know Arsenal are gonna score probably 4 goals, to say the least. Arsenal at home, especially in big games, um, are not like Madrid. What? Oh God, we're not gonna ever compare Arsenal to Madrid. I don't know what the hell I'm saying there, but listen, Arsenal at home do play very well. That's my whole point. They're not like Madrid, especially in Champions League, but against a team like Sporting, Arsenal will do just fine against Sporting. Exactly, Raj. Arsenal will glide through Sporting. They will. And I'm gonna say 4-1 because Arsenal are bound to concede. But at home, they like to score goals. They don't like to rely on set pieces. And against Sporting, it's an easy draw, very easy draw. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal wins. They're probably gonna face either PSG or Liverpool. If Real Madrid wins, they're probably gonna face either Bayern, Barca, or Atletico. Imagine that a Spanish derby is in the works for a potential semi-final. That's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, those are my results. Barcelona 2-1 first leg. PSG 2-0 second leg. I mean first leg. Bayern Munich 2-1 the first leg. And Arsenal 4-1 the first leg. You've heard it here first on the Reclusive Artist channel. Footy Talk. You know how it is. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. You know how it is. Yeah, man, I'm excited for I'm excited for that, man. Those are some fire games that we're gonna be watching, and they're gonna be impressive. Oh yes, sir, they're gonna be impressive. Except for the Arsenal one. Arsenal one's gonna be boring as hell. That one is not. That one is one I'm not gonna look forward to. That one is just trash. All the other ones pretty decent. We're gonna head to the Manchester United news, talking about the latest updates. In terms of like, excuse me, Ineos are looking to blockbuster a lot in the summer. Our injury updates is like Lisandro Martinez. He's still out. He could possibly return the international break. Mazzarawi, he's ill, so he'll be back against Bournemouth on Friday. De Ligt and Dogu are still out. Um, so you'd think that Ineos will be invested in a left center back. I think they would. They should. Ineos, Manchester United should have another center back because Martinez's lack of availability is problematic. He's injury prone, and we still have Lenny, we still have Maguire, um, and we would still have a player like De Ligt. So another left center back would be very good for depth. Definitely be good for depth. And Bournemouth have had four draws in their last five games, so they're not on form. So this should be another standard procedure game. Probably 2-0 away, you know. We're not taking any chances against this Bournemouth team, nor are we underestimating them. But just seeing here from their last record, their last game, let me just see here. They haven't been on form, people. The next game is against Arsenal and Newcastle. They've drawn against Burnley 0-0, Brentford 0-0, Sunderland 1, Sunderland 1-1, West Ham 0-0. Their last win was on the 10th of Feb against Everton. So yeah, they have drawn their last four in the last five. So it's an advantage for us, an advantage we need to take to solidify the top four race. And I believe we've got top four. We're not like Chelsea, Liverpool, and Tottenham Hotspur, who are just in shambles in their rebuilds. I'm very comfortable in this win. We're gonna beat Bournemouth. Ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no doubt about that. Speaking of defenders, Nathaniel Brown, known to be a serious talent, um, is a Frankfurt right back that United are interested in. Saying Frankfurt won like a good estimate of 60 mil, and apparently he's a left back, so he's a long-term left back. Luke Shaw is not trusted in the left back position because of his unavailability. He's also injury prone, so I know Ineos are gonna want a new left back. I'm excited for that. I really am. We need a new left back. If we don't get a new left back, we're gonna be stuck with Big Body Shaw, and Big Body Shaw is just not consistent. So Nathaniel Brown, he's very young, His dad's English, apparently, so we know that English is not going to be a problem in terms of his language. Says Liverpool and Madrid and Barca are interested in him, so he's definitely hot in the market. Ineos is, their scouting department is really solid, man, very solid. and the people that were interested in him. United were in advanced talks apparently with Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle with a fee of 80 mil. I'll believe it when we agree terms. When the terms have been agreed, that's when I'll know. But as it is, we're just monitoring him. Him, Tonale, which will be another good signing. Carlos Baleba, which I think will get done at the beginning of the end of this season, or if not before the end of these last 2 months of the Premier League, even before the season finishes in their last 3 games or something like that. I think we'll be able to close the deal for Baleba, and plus, from it being 100 mil, we can get a good 50 mil, 60 mil from him, just based on his performance this season. So, Guimaraes, Tonali, Baleba, selling Manuel Ugarte, Mason Mount. Those are good replacements. Casemiro is going to be going. Tyrell Malacia is also going to be leaving. So we're going to be making a lot of money. Rashford's going to be leaving. Hoyland's going to be leaving also. So we're going to be making a lot of bread from the re not the rebuild, but the resales of a lot of these players. I beg you not. Let's not give Bruno Fernandez another deal, man. He already signed another deal. He's left 3 years on the contract, and he's got 370K a week. I don't think we should be paying. We should be paying him more money than 370K a week. Does I don't even think 370K a week is supposed to be something that he should be paid. He should be making minimum 300. But who am I to judge what a man makes for their bread? But I'm just saying, for what he puts out for the team, 300 is enough. 370K is ridiculous, man. I don't think anybody should be making 370K a week at a football club, unless they're racking up numbers and winning trophies like the Ballon d'Or. That's understandable. But Bruno Fernandez is our star player, but he shouldn't be earning 370K a week. I just don't think so. You gotta be at a Messi and Ronaldo and breaking numbers like Haaland to be making 370K a week. He's just stat padding, bro. Let's be real here, man. Let's just be real here. Bruno Fernandez he's half the time in the whole game is he's losing away possession, not making the right passes. He's just being a liability half the time in the game, but people always just ignore it because of his stat padding. You know, yeah, he can stat pad us for a win, but I just don't want people to ignore the fact that he does nothing the whole entire game before he stat pads. That's what Bruno Fernandez does. You know. Now, ultimately, I think we're going to be starting the same team against Bournemouth, and we're going to beat Bournemouth. Start the same team. You know. Of course, I just mentioned to you the injury list, so we're not going to be seeing a lot of our new players come in. I'm just hoping that in a game like this away from home, Joshua Zirkzee can get some minutes. If Joshua Zirkzee can get some minutes, I'll be more eased with these rumors of him having to leave my club. Like, because in games where we can't break off the the deep line defensive teams, we're gonna have to play a player like Joshua Zirkzee who can play false nine in playing against those deep isolation defending football teams that park the bus and make it very shaky for us and our wingers and our direct striker who in Brian Mbemu I do not trust, bro. Brian Mbemu is not technically sound enough. Has had a lot of horrible games, even though he's also stat padded, man. He is just not good enough off the ball. That's my problem with Brian Mbemu, man. If you watch him deeply, you'll see from his games he doesn't know how to play his back against the goals. I've said this time and time again in my watch alongs. is very concerning. But at the same time, people are gonna ignore it because he's scoring goals for us right now. But long term wise, he's gonna hurt us in big games. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very crucial that what happened with him being subbed off against Xerxes. Well, he wasn't happy, of course, but he needs to be aware that Carrick understands that sometimes he's not gonna get us, he's not gonna give us the answers, and that's okay. But he needs to be aware of that, and he needs to make that and create motivation from that to improve his game because his game is not gonna get better by him just being comfortable starting every week. That's how Cunha's getting better. Cunha's getting better because Carrick just kept bringing him off the bench in his first few games because Carrick realized from the last games that he watched before he even became the head manager that Cunha was not playing very well, and so he made him earn his way back into the team. Right now, Sesko's on form, so he's making it very hard for Xerxes to come back in the team. But United's biggest struggle is finishing, and Bremu is the one who's able to solve this problem. I get that. I get that. Let me explain it this way. Brian Bremu is like our Mo Salah. Mo Salah doesn't have good build up, doesn't have good 1-2 passing. He's not as technically as gifted as players like Eden Hazard and Sergio Aguero, but he provides you goals. That's what Brian Mbeumo is for us. Brian Mbeumo for us is a goal scorer. That's what he is. If you watch a full 90 game, he's always getting bullied off the ball, always getting stopped for his passes, doesn't make half of his passes all the time. Sometimes he's not technically gifted for the first touch, you see. So he lacks inconsistency in his in-game management, in his in-game IQ. There's a little bit of flaws in his game. There's certain tests he doesn't pass in football, especially technically wise. But as a goal scorer, I'm very happy with him. That guy's got a lot of goals now, especially for us. It's better he scores the goals for us, especially if he's having a shit game. But I'm not gonna sit here and call and ignore the fact that he has bad games, even though he scores goals in the games. That goes with Bruno Fernandez. Nah, man, we speak facts on this channel, bro. We speak facts, and I expect both of them to start. I really, I do, I. That's just how football is. You don't change a winning team, and only changes we made was Leniero coming in the substitute in the defense. Probably the next change we're probably going to make is Mazarawi coming back for Diego Dalot. Those are the only changes. This is who I feel like we're going to start with. We're going to start with Yamins in goal, Luke Shaw on the left. No, in fact, Mazarawi on the left because he can play both sides. Mazarawi on the left, Lenny Yaro, Harry Maguire, Diego Dalot, Maino, Casemiro, Ahmad on the left, Bruno in the middle, Brian on the right. Wait, Matisse Cunha on the right, Brian in the middle. Yeah, that's how I see it. And then I'm praying and hoping to God that they brought on Xerxes so that he can get some minutes. At least, man, just give him some minutes, man. Like save some players, man. You can even like not start Brian and Bemu and start someone like Xerxes. Since you substituted Brian and Bemu, gives let's see how Xerxes plays and starts in a game against Bournemouth, which are not a very threatening team. That's at least what I ask for, and that's at least that. Come on, like that's it's Joshua Xerxes, man. He just makes football even way more fun to watch. I get there's games where there's the games that we're playing is like it's very entertaining. We're scoring goals, we're winning games, but when Joshua Xerxes plays, it's just a different game, man. He makes football look like art. He's a technical maestro. and he needs to be appreciated, man. I just don't want us. I don't want United to be still that team that sells the ballers, bro. We can't sell Xerxes, and I don't think he's gonna leave because the build up project in United is too big. It's too big. It's too big for any player not to be involved. That's why I believe if we sign four world star players who are ready now, who are experienced for the league now. So if we sign Tonali, Carlos Peleba, if we sign Nathaniel Brown, who's athletically very good, if we can sign another winger in um Lem Diam, what's his name, man? What's his name? Ndai, Lamine Ndai, Iman Ndai, yeah, Iman Ndai, the Everton winger. If we can sign all four of those players who are ready now, who are Premier League proven and are ready now, Bruno Ramirez, Tonali, Carlos Peleba, all these other names I've just mentioned to you. If we can sign half of those players, I'll be happy. If we can sign all five, I'll be ecstatic because that's more depth. That is more depth. Bless up, people. Shout out for pulling up to the live. We appreciate all y'all. Let me know what your predictions are for the games in the UCL. Let them know. Let them know. Tell me what you guys think, and you guys should write it down, type it up, and leave it on the comments. May 2026 be the best year of your life, people. Stay positive. God bless. Namaste. Namaste. The reclusive artist 33. I'm out.